Well, good morning, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal on a very strange-looking Tuesday morning. It is 16 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it 60 in American. I'm getting better slowly. It is still, you cannot see the sky still. And for those of you, well, let me rephrase it. And we had some serious fires go on locally, and the whole of the sky is still covered in smoke. Although it is now beginning to dissipate, I'm not sure what I'm looking at is just solid cloud cover, which it doesn't look like, or still from the smoke. But luckily it's not right down to ground level, which it was a couple of days ago. So hopefully it's beginning to dissipate. It feels cooler, which makes me think I might have brought a cardigan with me, which I didn't. I always try and bring 2 layers because you never quite know what everybody at work's going to do with the heat settings. It's really hot outside, so they hit the air conditioning very hard and I freeze to death, or the opposite. It's a day like today that looks like it's a little bit overcast, so they... Never mind. But the truth is, I never quite know. Yesterday at one point I was actually cold. Yeah, as opposed to just chilled, I was cold. So I've done what I think is the clever thing today. I've worn a long skirt so that hopefully I can sort of adapt accordingly. If it's too hot, I'll hike the skirt up. So I got home last night to a gift. And I have to say it was a gift, because for the last, I don't know if I've discussed this with you, but for the last, I think 4 to 6 months, I've been without a microwave because my microwave blew a fuse. And all the research I did was it was going to cost me as much to bring somebody in to replace that fuse from the manufacturer as it was to install a new one. And last night I got home to Yvonne and Wade and a house guest all busy putting in my backup microwave. So I was very, very touched by that. Now, I know this sounds absolutely strange, but when you've lived without a microwave, and I'm certain, for example, Benji and Judy would find the same thing, when you've lived without a microwave for some time, you get out of the habit of using it. And I actually said I'm going to have to work out how to use it now. But I know that I will appreciate it. I can have popcorn again. Yay! Now, it's worth it almost just for popcorn. Now, you understand I do have a popcorn popper. But then you end up with popcorn all over the place. For some reason. Mine seems to spread popcorn really well. So that would be a healthy snack for me, to make some popcorn at night. Yay. I'm looking forward to that. The point that I was trying to make, though, is that it was an unexpected gift, and that was really cute. And I don't know, there's something about an unexpected gift that is touches the soul. And I sort of said, as I came in from, a busy day at work, I said, is there anything I can do to help? And they said, yes, get out of the way. Because they knew I'd be worried sick about my glass top stove underneath the microwave that they were busy manhandling. But I had already said to them if they were going to do it, to take the cushions off my couch and turn them upside down and put them on the stove, so that if anything, if the microwave slipped, at least there'd be that level of foam underneath it, which I thought was quite a good idea. But the good news was they did it perfectly. Anyway, so what I decided was, after I sort of waited around for a while, I then said, wait a minute, it's now getting later. And I just walked into the kitchen and said, has anybody eaten? And nobody had. So I said, okay, fine, that's what I can do. So I popped down to the local Mickey D's and picked up a very unhealthy meal for everybody. And I'm not sure what my body's going to do with having had burgers 2 nights in a row, but I have to say, actually I didn't have burgers, I had chicken nuggets. But it's still fast food. I didn't cook fast food at the weekend, did I? Mine was very slow food, it took time. Yeah, that's a good point. Mine definitely was not fast food. Now, another gift that I got yesterday was that Nana wrote and told me how to use my burger doodle, which I didn't know. So I can't wait to make them again. What am I talking about? Not Nana, Lolo. The other gift I got was that Lolo sent me instructions on how to use my stuffed burger press. So I'm really looking forward to trying those again. And then Liz, I think it was Liz or Sophie, one or the other, I think it was Liz, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, sent me other ideas of what I could stuff those burgers with. Very exciting. So you see, really, most people, you just need to show them something interesting like that and their minds go into all sorts of creative directions. So I am actually delighted. It's a gift to me that you guys enjoy it when I play with these gizmos, because the kid in me really always wants to play with those things, and whether it works or not really isn't the major thing for me. It's like, let me play with it and see what it does. Now, you'd think at this great age of mine that I would have grown up a bit from that, but no, I haven't. And I'm certain the experts would tell me, well, it's because you didn't get to play as a child or something, which is totally untrue. I spent an awful lot of time playing as a child. It was heartily encouraged, like, here's 3,000 acres, go play. And by the way, here's a horse you can go play on. Just like, get out of the house. So, can you remember those days when we could have children go out and play all day on their own and not worry about them? And some days I'd take a packed lunch with me. I'd be gone for hours and hours. Amazing. Couldn't do it today. Well, maybe you still can on the farms and so forth. Interesting. I sort of miss those days, because I think that's, part of me thinks that maybe that's where we're changing the way children grow up. We used to experiment a lot, and we used to do all these things, some of which worked and some of which didn't. But we made a plan. Anyway. And then the other thing I did yesterday was I wrote to two different friends of mine. I try and make a point of sort of dropping a note to at least a friend a day if I can. And it doesn't have to be a particularly long or meaningful note. It just needs to be, hey, I'm sending you a hug. And that really is what they're for me. I just want them to know that they've been on my mind and I care about them. So, for some reason, yesterday I got a reply from one, and it was so funny because it's a very dear friend of mine, and I've had this friend from just about the day I arrived in Canada, and he is just such a delight. And he's one of those friends that I only get to see a couple of times a year, and then when we do, it's just like, okay, it was yesterday. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of we don't sort of keep score on stuff. Anyway, so the fun was that I had written to him because last year we got together, and I don't know if any of you have done this, but we got together early in the year and we laughed about, okay, let's try and meet up again before it's Christmas. And you laugh at it at the time, you laugh because of course you're going to get together again before Christmas. Well, I want to tell you something. We battled, and it wasn't that we weren't in touch with one another, but for some reason we just didn't get together. And then we both decided on principle we were going to meet again before Christmas. Anyway, so early this year we got together, you see, again. Now, guess what we said, let's get together again before the summer. Well, we missed that one. So then I wrote and I said, did we really mean during the summer? And it was so cute because I just got a reply and it just said, I keep thinking about you and I keep thinking about that it is already summer. And I wrote back and said, well, it's a good job we love one another. Because otherwise you could take it seriously, right? And then I wrote to some other friends of mine last night. Sorry, everybody, I'm just sitting in the middle of an intersection. And I'd rather concentrate on cars than talk. Anyway, so I wrote to some other friends of mine. And I hadn't heard from them for a while. So, I just wrote and went, okay, do I need to change my deodorant, toothpaste, lifestyle? I don't know. And then I got a reply, and it said, you are adorable. And I thought that was so cute. And then, bless their hearts, they were busy telling me how busy they'd been over the summer. And then they said, we really must get together soon. When are you available? Now, you see, the difference between we really must get together soon and when are you not available? That was the question. Now that shows intent to me. A lot of people will say we really must get together soon and they don't actually mean it. But when they actually say when are you not available, it means I'd like to plan this. I just thought we were saying, you are so adorable. It's not a word you expect to hear about yourself at my age. So it was a good day yesterday for gifts. Mind you, remember what we said yesterday about looking. So I was looking, I guess, whether I knew it or not, in some way I was looking for gifts. And I got a lot. And I am very, very grateful. By the way, I did try, for those of you who were interested in what I did, I actually Did over 5,000 steps yesterday. And I'm a little bit below what I did yesterday. I've only done 900 today so far. But I was surprised how many steps I actually do work at. Let's try that one again. How many steps I walk at work. I had thought that I did far less than I actually do. So I was pleasantly surprised how many I had done by the time I got home last night. And because of what was going on in my house, I didn't get those extra steps from cooking dinner or tidying up or doing the things that I would normally do in my kitchen. So I was actually quite happy that I did 5,000 that way, because that's nearly double what I started with less than a week ago. So obviously I've got to up the rate a bit today, as I'm a little bit behind, but it's only 100 steps behind, I think. And see if I can continue that winning streak. So everybody, thank you so much. Remember to look for the gifts in your life today. If you're breathing, it is a gift. If you're smiling, it's because you chose to be amused by something. And I believe the ability to do that is a gift. If you bother to contact somebody, that is a gift to them. And hopefully the gift to you will be continued friendship. And if you understand that every day we do these things and it makes our life happy, then that'll be a gift to me too. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the link above here that runs the whole way through the vlog, and it'll take you to a different screen. Actually it doesn't, it opens up a separate screen that you can check later. For those of you who are regulars, thank you for all that you do to support one another, especially those of you who are the broadcast peeps. If you know anybody who could do with a little bit of help, or maybe a little bit of learning in a fun way, please make sure you pass on the links. For those of you who don't know, all the links are below on the Show More button that you open up underneath here, and it's got all the links to all the social media and everything else. So this is Dear Mama Sal on the way to yet another hopefully great day. Look after yourselves, and most of all look after one another. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye bye for now.